Hi all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to channel, please subscribe to my channel. Today we are going to learn a concept called exception in Java. Exception in Java. So what is exception? Exception is nothing but a runtime failure of a Java program. In simple terms, if I have to say, a runtime failure of a Java program is known as exception. Okay, runtime failure of a Java program is known as exception. At the time of execution, whenever JVM finds an abnormal behavior over the code, immediately it will terminate the code. At that point, then it's going to point out exception. Just remember what is exception is runtime failure of a Java program. That would be easy for you to understand. So how can we handle the exception? Handling exception. So we can handle the exception using try and catch block. With the help of try and catch block, we can handle the exception. Inside the try block, we are going to have the code which is going to cause exception, and inside the catch block, we can handle that exception. So let me show one of the program about this exception handling. Take int x equal to, let me take 10 comma y equal to, let me take 0. So I'll tell z not declared here, where z equal to x by y. Println, you're going to get z here. Let me run the program. So exception in thread main arithmetic exception by 0. So it's clearly telling what type of exception we have got. It's arithmetic exception, divide by 0 error, divide by 0. So how can we handle this exception? So just I'm going to do now with this try catch block, I'm going to place it inside this code, and inside this exception I'm going to pass a statement like exception handled successfully. Exception handled successfully. Now if I run the program, so you can see here what is the output we are getting. So it goes into the try block, then it goes in here, then after that immediately it founds the exception and going to go in here, and it's going to tell exception is handled successfully. This is how we are going to handle the exception. And to be more specific, it is arithmetic exception. Exception is handled successfully. So, so you can ask one question. So, do we need to handle exception always? No. According to that requirement, for example, for any business application, we need to handle the exception if there is a requirement, or else you don't need to handle it. There is one more thing in this try class. There is one more thing called finally block. Finally block. Now you might be thinking, bro, is this finally is a final keyword, something like that? No, it's a bit different. We're going to discuss about the difference a bit later, but now I'm going to discuss about the finally block. So finally, it's a block. It's nothing but a block which will be always executed if execution is present, also till it will be executed. Even though if there is an exception, that finally block will going to execute compulsory. It is a block, and it is a block which will be always executed if the exception is present. Also, it will be also it will be executed. So this is called final block. Let me show you an code. So how does this finally block going to execute? So let me remove this same, let me run this same program. Instead, now I'll use finally, and I'll print ln, I'll put you are inside finally block. Here's execution exception, right? Now if you see here, you are inside the final block is executed. No matter what happens, finally block going to execute, and after that you're going to get this exception. This is how this finally block are going to execute. Now you can ask, can there be multiple switch cases for a single exception? I mean, a single try block. Yes, we can have multiple catch blocks. I mean, multiple one. Can you if you see here, you're having this exception, right? You can have here one catch block. Here one catch block, another one. You can have one more catch block here. You can have multiple catch blocks according to your requirement. So what I'm trying to tell you is, one try block can have multiple catch blocks, but you can't try two try blocks for a single catch block. It's not possible. And you can have try catch and finally as well, like I've shown previously. You can have try catch finally as well. These are some of the things which you need to remember, and there is different types of exceptions. like arithmetic runtime exception, interrupted exception, etc. There will be so many things, but let me tell you what are the main crucial important things. There is some compiled execution or checked compiled time exception and checked exception. This type of exceptions are generated during compile time. So these are called generally called as compile time exception. So let me run a program for you. What is the how it's going to be? In this there is something called thread.sleep. Now I'm going to introduce to thread dot sleep. I'll tell 2000. Now I'll remove this multiple flash blocks. I'll just remove this and I'll say like just a second, println exception e. You can call so I'll type a thread.sleep. Next I'll put one print statement, print ln, and then hi there, some message I'm going to print here. After that let me put one more thread.sleep, thread.sleep. This time I'm going to put 1000 seconds and I print stuff like hello there. Let me check what it's going to print. See what happened, right? It waited. If you run it here, after 2 seconds it's going to print. After that immediately it waited for 2 seconds and it printed hi there. So this means is this thread is going to sleep mode for 2 seconds. That is 2000 milliseconds. That is 2 seconds. And after that it's going to print this statement. After that it's going to go in sleep for 1 second. That is 1 milliseconds, and it's going to print hello there. If I change this to let's say 3 and I'll put here as 5, so after 5 milliseconds, that is like 1 2 3 4 5, almost like 5 seconds it's printed there, and after 1 2 3 seconds it's going to print the second statement. This is how is going to work. This thread dot sleep going to make that this running this sleep method is going to make this to wait for 5 seconds. I mean, after that it's going to print hi there, and now it's going to wait for three more seconds and it's going to print hello there. This is what we'll use. Why do we use thread dot sleep? In generally this thread's going to be having a deadlock situation where multiple threads trying to get executed. Like if I say, take an example. I'm not no, we did not discuss this yet, but let me show you some example so that you can understand it quite better. Let's say this is from, so let me say this is thread, this is one thread, and let me just say this is thread 2. let me say this is thread 1 and this is thread 2. So what is happening, right? One thread, there can be multiple threads. So what is happening is, let's say the program want to execute this thread and this thread simultaneously, but what happens, right? This thread is going to call and this thread is also will going to be called. I'm just giving brief explanation, I'm not going to deep. So what happens, right? This is going to create deadlock situation. Neither this can be called, this can be called, because both will be waiting for one to complete. So none of them will get executed. So if you put this thread for sleep for some time, meanwhile this thread going to be executed, so it's going to avoid deadlock situation. Hope you got. And if when the time comes, I'm going to give it more briefly. So this is how we are going to use thread method. And there is something like throws keyword. Throws keyword which we can handle compile time exceptions. With the help of throws, we can handle let me show you one code or something like that, program. Let me just remove this all these things and let me tell thread dot sleep. That would be thread dot sleep, that is 5000, and after that I'll say thread dot sleep 5000, and I'll tell print ln, and I'll print hi there, hi there. I'll put thread dot sleep. I'll put, so again I'll put 5000, and I'll print instead of hi there I'll put as it is hello there. So with the help of this, what I'm going to say, throws keyword, we can handle compile time exceptions. So let me put stuff hi, I'll put hello there. Now after this I'll put one method, create one method, empty method. Let me put something like m1, and now after this m1, now what I'm going to do is create one public, call this method now public static void m1, and I'm going to print this statement. I'll say thread dot sleep, I'll put 1000 milliseconds, and now if I going to put a statement, I'll just copy it and let me tell this is m1, right? Let me tell m1 started, next, after that let me put m1 is going to end. So let me put, for easy readability, I'll tell m1 ended. So now let me try to run the code. So what is happening here is this is going to give the error, right? Exception, interrupted exception must be got declared to be thrown. So this is what I was talking about. Here now we are going to use the keyword called throws. I'll tell. So this is what the exception is causing. I'll call this exception here, that is interrupted exception. If you don't know, you can call this exception and you can check what is the exception is going to create. This is unreported interrupted exception. Now throws interrupted exception. Fine. throws interrupted exception. What is the problem here? M1 throws interrupted exception. Thread not sleep. Okay. M1 to that. Okay. Throws interrupted exception. Yeah. There's one more place I need to call it. Here at the main method, I need to call throws interrupted exception. Now you can see 5,000 seconds, 5 seconds it's waited and it's printed hi there, and after that it printed hello there, and after that it printed M1 started and waited for 1 millisecond and printed M1 ended. See, this is how we are going to call. This is throws. By using this throws keyword we are avoiding the interrupted exception. So there are some more things which I want to tell you. That is like just a second. Throwable. Right. Throwable. Increase the size. Throwable keyword. This is a throwable is a class, guys. So this is a class. Throwable has mainly two things. This is one, and this is another one, which is I'll tell. ERROR error. Another one is exception. So if you see, this throwable is a class. This throwable, it is a class. Throwable is a class. That I put. So this, remember, this is a class. This is an exception is also class. Well, errors are something like virtual machine error, browse error. Mainly, these exceptions are of way of two types: runtime exception, interrupted exception. This is arithmetic exception which you have seen. It is a runtime exception, and we have seen interrupted exception. This throwable is the supermost class of all error classes, guys. Error classes and exception classes. And this exception is a supermost class of all the exceptions. So if you able to get what is this, now let me show you this example of throwable code with throwable. Same thing, I'll say thread.slip. I don't want this many all these things. Let me remove all these things, and if I save if and thread.sleep 5 seconds, and I'll call instead of remove this. Now if you run this code, what you are going to get is some exception, right? Now I'll call here throwable, throws this keyword. Now I'm going to call throwable. Now if I run this code, wait for 5 seconds, you're going to see it. So this is throwable is supermost class of all the exceptions, guys. And there is something like throws keyword that will going to help this throws keyword, which is Throw is a keyword which we can perform customized exception handling, like you have seen here. This is how you're going to use throws keyword. Now, like I said, right, I'm going to give some differences. Now, first, before that, I'm going to give some difference of what is throws, and throwable. So, what is throw? Throw, with the help of throw keyword, we can perform customized exception, customized exception, customized exception handling. And next, this throws keyword, we can, with the help of throws keyword, we can handle compile time exception. Sorry, compile time exception. With the help of throws keyword, we can handle compile time exception. And now it comes to throwable. Help of throwable. This is a supermost class. It is supermost class of all errors and exception. So it's supermost class of all throwable is a supermost class of all the errors and exception classes. Error classes and exception. With the help of throwable class, we can perform generic handling exception. So this is how we are going to do it. So let me tell you one more thing. Runtime and compile time exception difference. For this, let me, hope you noted this down. Let me put, okay, center of the line, let me put a straight line, differentiate it, and here let me put this line so that you can get the differences. So I'm going to put a shortcut compile time exception, CTE, or you can call it as checked exception. Checked exception. And here runtime exception, RTE, runtime, this is runtime exception, or you can call it as unchecked exception. This is unchecked exception. So let me tell you the differences. What are this? First one here, these exceptions are generated during compile time. Generated during compile time. Or you can say compilation, during compilation time. And these errors are executed during these exceptions, and this type of exceptions are caused during runtime exception, or during, you can call it as execution. During the execution, you're going to get this type of exceptions. this occur during runtime. This occur during runtime. Let me put it. This is the first difference, I would say. Next would be these are checked exceptions. These are checked exceptions. These are checked by compiler. So it's called as checked exceptions. This is checked by compiler, so it's known as checked exceptions. These exceptions are not checked by compiler, but these are point outed by JVM. These are pointed by JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So this is called runtime exception. This can be handled by throw catch block. This can be throw catch block and throws keyword. This can be handled by throw catch block. Now, hope you got the difference. So let me tell you one more thing. So with this, exceptions are done. Let me remove this. Let's see. Let me open one more time, or I can open. Now what we are going to discuss is difference between finally and finalize. Three different things. Okay, let me tell this as this is for final, this is for finalize. This is going to be final. Finally, and one more is finalize. Okay, it's a bit difficult, I mean. Okay. So this is finalize. What is the difference between this? Is a keyword access for this keyword. This is final is a keyword. This is a keyword and access modi is a keyword and access modifier which is used to apply restrictions on class method class comma method comma on variable etc. And this finally block is an exception handling, is used in exception handling. This finally block is used for exception handling. final block is used for exception handling. Exception handling. And this finalize is a Java method. It is a method. It is a method used to perform cleanup process. Use it to perform cleanup process. Just before object is garbagely collected. Like I said, this is used for classes and methods and variables, and this is used for try catch block. It is used in try catch block. And try catch block. It is used in try catch block. In exception handling, this finalize method is used with objects. It is used for with objects. With objects. Used for objects. And this once final is declared, you can't. It's a constant. You can't be modified, and you can't override for a class subclass, and a class cannot be inherited. Okay. Next, let me put more line here, so that would be easy. One point is once declared as final, declared final, variable is constant, you can't change it. Next one, that would be final method cannot be overridden. Cannot be overridden by classes. There are subclasses. Cannot be overridden in subclasses. And this finally is a block. It is block runs an important code, not IMP, that is important code even if exception occurs. Even if exception occurs, it's going to run. So second point is it cleans up all resources used in try catch blocks. And this one would be it's going to perform cleanup activities with respect to object before destruction. Just above points are repeated, but let me put it anyway. Let me type it anyway. It performs cleaning activities with respect to object. With respect to with respect to object before its destruction. Before its destruction. And finally method is executed only when we call it. Final method is going to execute it when we call it, and this finally block executed as soon as try and clash block is executed. And finalize is executed just before object is destroyed. Let me put these points as well. These are the final points, main differences. Hope you are seeing the differences as well. And the final point would be final method is executed only when we call it. That's all. And this finally block it execute as soon as try catch block is executed. As soon as try catch block is executed, it's going to execute. And next point would be second point. This would be the first point, and last point would be it is not dependent on exception. It's not dependent on exception. It is created, like I said, it's executed finalize method is executed just before object creation. Just before object destruction, not creation. It would change completely. Just before object is destroyed. So this is what about exception handling is. Mainly about main important things of exception. Hope you got what is this all these things like I mentioned. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe for more content. Next way I'm going to make soon I'm going to make other videos on Java. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel if you're new to the channel. Thanks.